to be like, good morning, but I know it's not morning. It's almost 11. I'm a little tired. I'm more awake today than I was it yesterday or the day before? Oh, did anybody see Seth Rogers last night? I clicked on it because I wanted to see who he had on the panel, and he's got that one girl. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, let's take a break from the Goon Squad to do a little Seth Rogers. Pupsy. I asked my dog this morning. I was filling out some paperwork before I got on here. And I looked at him, I was like, Pugsy, wanna go talk some shit? Wanna go talk shit with mom? And then he runs into the bedroom. Got my breakfast, y'all. Overnight oats is where it's at. Okay. Let's see here. I want to scroll through a little bit of this because ain't nobody got time for all this. Okay. It's important to have the missing person flyer on here. Pugsley.
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday.
Yeah, this was from last night.
No, my son has not been found yet. Sebastian is currently 17 and still missing.
That's
That
very
picture
sad.
that was my thumbnail that was taken at the IHOP here in Clarksville about
Fun
a
fact.
year and a half before.
I used to live in Clarksville. And I know exactly what IHOP he's talking about because I think there's only one. Unless since I've moved, they've gotten more. But if it's the one I'm thinking of, I believe. What is that one that road off of Exit 4? It's not Warfare Boulevard. I can't think of what it's called, but it's in the main. It's over by the mall. If it's the same one.
Went missing. Doing some questions and answers today. If
Getting
you
close
don't mind,
for you too. Is
everybody
that why
taking a
you've been live
moment of
so long?
silence for those that we have lost in this while, in the last 2.5 years, those that are missing.
And it's definitely getting close to payday. He's been live way too much than he was before. I think the payday is like the 27th or something. Oh my god, what are you doing? When you got time to sit here and wait, dude. Oh, here.
Today we have Miss Justine.
I don't really know anything about this girl. This is only like the second time I've ever seen her. So, but she just her eye makeup annoys the shit out of me.
Up on the panel again.
Hello. Good to see everybody. Thank you for having me back.
Dude, look
Thank
at
you
the
for coming back.
Her
I know
eye.
that we didn't get through those questions.
Not even close. How was your week?
Is it? People that we have in chat. Hello, everybody. Chat's moving so fast.
Yeah. See a lot of familiar faces. Get a few over by me.
Her friggin' that looks horrible. Justine, girl, that looks so bad on you. And makes your eyes look so small. You have no eyes. Like her eye. That's just no.
That are watching as well. But hello, everybody. I'm Justine. Pretty Little Clues for anybody that wasn't here last time and come to know Seth and became acquainted in the YouTube arena, and glad to call him my friend and happy to be here. So thank you again. Want me to get started or you want a minute?
I mean, Answering questions is the easy part. It's the tracking down the tips and pulling information. You know, there's a lot that questions are the easiest thing.
I haven't watched any of this. Keep that in mind. It's my first time watching it. You guys are going to get
Yeah.
a good reaction.
Hey,
Well-
Sonia. Hey, Mama Rissa. Hey,
Oh,
Bo.
hey, Sonia.
YouTuber. There's a lot of people in here. Melanie, SI officer.
A lot of these names are saying is from Betty's chat.
But yeah, you
I did not
can
just drop that way back behind my computer.
whenever you like.
My bottle cap.
All right. Well, feel free to interject if you see any in the chat that stick out to you. Otherwise, I'm just going to go back to our list that we had last time. All right. So Tessa Tossa asks, did they check the digital logs of her keypad door lock? Is it true that KP was supposedly enrolled in classes at that time?
I don't know anything about what was going on in their life. I mean,
Oh, but-
they didn't tell me what was going on in my son's life. Everything I know about what was going on, everybody else knows because it was information that was given freely off of YouTube.
No, you act like you know exactly what goes on in their house.
Yeah. I mean, I know it was seems like a tumultuous relationship and still is, which is unfortunate because it really should just be about bringing him home and getting answers for all of you.
I am going to try to say this in the nicest way possible, but if you've been around, you know it's going to be hard for me. Seth is the one who has put this division in between him, Chris, and Katie. I will admit, when this first happened, I was 100% Team Seth. None, hands down. I'll stand 10 toes down on it. I was totally on Seth's side. And then when Seth Rogers, started getting online and going on every single panel he could find and started running his mouth about Chris and Katie, I already knew what was going to happen. I'm like, oh, I for sure thought Chris and Katie were going to clap back and they were going to run their mouths just like Seth did. But no, they took the higher road. They had these conversations privately with themselves, not online. Seth is the one who aired out all this dirty laundry. And I know why he did it. He wanted everybody to turn on Chris and Katie. But that did not happen. So I started listening to Chris talk. I get why Katie didn't want to be online. I totally get that. And coming from a mother's point of view, I wouldn't have done it either. Seth's a piece of shit. And if you're Team Seth, you're more than welcome. Or Team Green Team, you're more than welcome to stay in here. We can have a conversation, but you're not going to yell at me or anyone else in the chat. You're not going to cuss at me or anyone else in the chat. That will be automatic banned. But in my opinion, I can't stand Seth. I absolutely despise him. Despise him. And I totally forgot where I was going. But no. Anyways, Seth's the one who did all this. He's the one who this happened and Katie let this happen and Katie let this happen. A lot of this stuff happened when you two were married. You need to take some responsibility for your child, for things that have happened. Not just blame one parent. Sebastian has two parents. Two. And a bonus dad. Stepdad. Whatever you want to call him. But Seth needs to stop fucking running his mouth about Chris and Katie. And he has to start stepping up and actually being friends with them. Because I can guarantee they know, I don't want to say they know a lot more, but I have a feeling they do. And with Seth running his mouth as much as he has online about Chris and Katie and about the sheriff's department, that's why they don't tell him anything. They don't tell him shit. Oh, I forgot to bring my chat up. I am so sorry, people. Okay, there we go. That's why he is bitching and complaining because they don't tell him anything. It's because you run your fucking mouth, Seth. Just shut up about the sheriff's department, about things they could have done different. Just do it. Maybe if you actually try being nice to them, they would tell you things. Sorry, I went on a little rant. Seth just pisses me off.
So I'm sorry you're having to deal with that. Smooshy 2285 says, was KP or CP phone moving during the 3-hour call?
I wouldn't know how to answer that question either. That would be something you'd have to,
because that's none of your business.
If Sumner County ever held a press conference,
See?
You would ask them.
See? Okay, minus, hold on. 4 minutes. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 minutes into this already, and he's already running his mouth. Already. If you take away his intro, the intro time. See?
When is the last time that they had one?
They've only had one, and it was in August.
That's unreal.
No, April. I think it was April of 2024.
Because there's no leads, there's no tips. They can't do anything
after he went missing.
This is 2026.
Yeah.
Sumner County's down with the, don't talk about Sebastian. Don't they don't care about my son.
No, they're not about don't talk about. Oh, I'm on a roll today, you guys. They're not about don't talk about Sebastian. And that sheriff's department would love anything. They would love nothing more than to find Sebastian. But when leads and tips stop coming in, there's nothing they really can do. It's been what, 3? Let me see. We're missing in what, 2024, 25, 2.5 years later. It is now in our hands. I would say, because if Sebastian is still alive, it is up to all of us regular people to report if we see him. There's nothing they can do. And I'm fine with Seth coming online, talking about Sebastian, talking about the type of person he is, all of his favorite things that Seth and Sebastian used to do, like go to the card store there in Clarksville, or they'd go to, I think it was IHOP or wherever, and Sebastian had that crush on that girl or whatever. Going fishing. I love hearing those stories. That's what we need to hear. We need to see his picture up. There's a picture of him right there in the background. Can you even tell that's him? The only reason why I know that's him is because I've seen that it's a yard sign. I've seen it before. Where there's nothing even in hers. Like, you wouldn't even know that Sebastian unless you knew that was a yard sign back there. Like, what the fuck?
If they did, they'd have more people on it, more detectives, more than
there are other missing children
on the case part-time. They didn't care about my son before this happened. Because if they did, they would have called me.
They didn't care about my son before this happened. The sheriff's department probably didn't even know he existed. You know how many people live down there in Hendersonville? I've been there. It's large. It's big. I can guarantee you the sheriff's department for my county doesn't know I exist unless I get into trouble or they pull me over. So how are they supposed to care about your child before this happened, Seth, if they didn't know he even existed? I can guarantee you they probably didn't know you existed. They didn't know Katie existed. They probably didn't even know, because Klumanhati, she used to be on here. She's over on Kick, I believe. She's from Hendersonville. She got a mouth on her, no filter, love her. But I guarantee they didn't even know she existed. So, moving on.
When is the last time you had any sort of communication from Sumner? Obviously, I know probably not recently, given the suit and everything, but when is the last time you had any sort of communication?
Over 18 months. So it's been over a year and a half.
Gee, I wonder why, Seth. Keep running your mouth.
Over 18 months,
So the last time you talked to them, was it regarding any sort of information that they had, or was it an update, or was it just we have nothing?
I sent emails out to the DA, to the sheriff, to the detective on the case, to a couple state representatives, to a couple, and I got a response saying, obviously, we need to have a meeting. And I was like, I'll let you know when I'm back in Tennessee, because I was working on something then too. And I came back and let them know, and they never set up an appointment and stopped communicating with me.
Trying to keep my mouth shut.
It's really, I mean, it's just tragic, especially their lack of communication. I mean, we've seen it, unfortunately, throughout Tennessee.
Did that to
Sumner
himself.
County is doing the same thing that Chris and Katie did to me.
See? Already running his mouth about Chris and Katie.
They don't communicate. I have seen where Chris and Katie, last Friday were at the casino. Good for them.
So you're telling me that they still can't go out and do things? they can't go to church, they can't go out to eat, they can't go to a casino. They can't freaking go shopping at the mall. They can't do anything, and it's 2.5 years later. Are you gonna be fucking kidding me? I can tell you this. This is a little bit of a sidebar, but it kind of ties into this. When my late husband died, I remember leaving the care facility that he was at. I had to stop and get gas. This was in Clarksville. He actually passed away in Sango, or it's not Sango, Singo. What the fuck? It starts with an S. It's like it's like the south tip of Clarksville, because we lived kind of up by the Kentucky line. I remember leaving, and I looked down at my gas tank, and my light was on, because the day before, I got the phone call, "Hey, he's unconscious. You need to come now." I didn't even stop. My friend took my son, and I hauled it all the way to the care facility. Didn't care about the gas. But I remember leaving, looked down at my gas tank, and my light was on. And I stopped to get gas, and I'm standing there pumping, and I'm standing there watching all of these cars just zoom by on the road, zoom by, zoom by. And in that moment, I felt like I was on pause. Like I was just autopilot. autopilot. But I remember watching these cars go by and thinking, why can't the world stop while I'm on pause? You know what I mean? Like the world keeps moving around. It keeps going. Everybody, none of these people in Clarksville, unless they were with my late husband in the military or neighbors of ours, none of them knew he existed. They didn't know why he existed. They just saw a woman pumping gas, looking like a zombie. But the world cannot stop revolving when a death or a situation of a child goes missing. And yes, that sucks. It's heartbreaking to know that people are still living their lives while you're hurting. But once you snap out of the pause mode, I did a little air quotation marks, your life still needs to continue. Mine had to continue for my son. My son was 8 years old when his dad passed away. He is going to be 18 in a couple of months. Next year in July will be my late husband's 10th anniversary or angelversary is what I call it. Once you snap out of the pause mode, you need to continue on with your life. You need to keep pushing forward. Chris and Katie still have to keep continuing to work to pay bills. They need to continue to keep having a life for faith. Because I think Chris still has her. I know he got her for the summer, but I don't know anything about their custody. But the world can just not stop.
And the DA never got back to you either.
The old DA nor the new one has reached out to me. Last conversation that I had with DA Whitley, I was like, what are you going to do? And he was like, well, if Sumner County doesn't bring me anything, there's nothing I can do. And he was kind of, he acted confused on the phone on why I would even reach out to him. And I was like, what are you going to do about my son missing? Nothing.
He can't really do anything.
The fact is that, I mean, had meetings with the DA before all this stuff and the DA's assistant, and, you know, they still didn't let me know that they had DCS calls and meetings and all that sort of stuff. None of them did.
Because it's not your business.
I found out all that information after I got.
If CPS is called to Chris and Katie's house and Sebastian is not in any danger and does not need to be pulled out of that house, no, they're not going to contact you because it has nothing to do with you.
You know, the DCS reports. And it's like, how am I supposed to trust these people?
So, and clearly you were ruled out as any sort of suspect very early on in your very formal interview in a room in the garage or wherever that was. So is there any specific reason that you think that they were keeping you, especially, you know, law enforcement, who should be a neutral third party in Sebastian's best interest? Do you think there's any specific reason why they would leave?
Law enforcement? He was a security guard at a jail. Technically, yes, that is law enforcement, but he's not working there anymore. Last I knew, he was a security guard at a bank because who was it? What was that kid with the man boobs? What's his name? He lives down there too. White boy? I want to say white boy, but I might be thinking of white boy radio lockdown. But anyways, he's seen him there. I have no idea what Seth's doing for work now, and I'm assuming probably nothing considering how many times he's gone live in this last month.
Leave you out of these communications?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know if it's something that was told to them by Sebastian's mother or stepfather or, you know, whatever, or whoever, or by whoever, you know. You know, I'm an outsider, not only from Tennessee, because I just moved here in 2020, but I'm an outsider from Sumner County, too.
Okay, I was not down there. He moved there in 2020. I was gone in 2017. Okay, so let's just be clear. We never crossed paths or nothing. I never knew he moved there until all the Sebastian stuff started happening. So we did not live in the same town at the same time.
Even though I'm a deputy sheriff for Davidson County, it doesn't matter. I'm still an outsider.
Deputy sheriff.
And I've voiced my opinion. You know, I'm all about people having their rights. You know, I took an oath to the Constitution. It's my oath to uphold the Constitution for everybody.
Yeah.
Except for those that accidentally fall into a wood chipper.
Those comments like that, those are not needed either.
All right, let's see.
Let's see how long it takes to make a perverted joke.
All right. So SI officer says, was there any fresh construction in any room? Did the carpet look different, or were you not ever really inside?
Fresh construction in any room. I'm sure Sebastian went missing the amount of times that detectives and cops and whoever else were inside Chris and Katie's house after Sebastian went missing, they would have smelled it. I swear to God, people who follow this green team, most of them cannot think for themselves. They can't think outside the box. It's one mine or one lane. I don't want to say that. One mine tract or tract one, whatever the hell it is. But, you know, just one fucking lane. It's like expand your road a little bit.
I was inside for 3 days, but I did not spend a lot of time in there. I mean, my son was missing. I'm driving around everywhere looking for my. You know, I don't.
Didn't he say he spent 3 days in there, but he wasn't in there a lot? What the fuck?
And at that point in time, I didn't know about DCS reports. I didn't know about all of this stuff. So don't have access to any video cameras. Nobody's giving me much of any information. So I didn't stay at the house for long periods of time. I just swung by through the house to let them know that I was still in the area. I spent a lot of time at the fire station where they were doing all of their, Saratoga, and they had the screens up. And
You mean the place that you got kicked out of because you were looking on the board at places and then leaving and driving when you coulda got hurt when you were out there, and they didn't know you were there? That place?
all that sort of stuff. Because I was trying to get information and go search.
See, he's trying to get information, go search. Cops didn't even know. He got kicked out of that.
And I mean, I don't want to get this wrong, but you did say that when he first went missing, that Katie had driven around the neighborhood with her window up.
Supposedly.
It's February.
There's been video footage of her driving around the neighborhood with the window up. I don't know if that was her that.
What does it matter for windows up? It's February. He went missing. February is cold in Tennessee, believe it or not. They even get snow. If that was me and I was in Katie's shoes, fuck yeah, I would drive around with my windows up and the heat on. But as soon as I seen my son, let's say Sebastian, I would roll my window down and be like, Sebastian, what are you doing? Get in the car. Like,
Morning, or if she was reenacting for America's Most Wanted.
Don't get dentures before you watch this.
you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Nuvia removes your existing teeth, places.
I don't know. I do know what I was told. And the only thing I was told was the video where she drove through the school parking lot.
Yeah,
Windows were up. She wasn't looking left or right. She was looking straight as she drove through and out.
Oh my god. An empty school. Think of your child's school. Okay? No, you're not getting on my lap. My puggle wants on my lap. Think of your child's school completely empty. You're driving through the parking lot. You're gonna see everything. You're as soon as you pull in, you'll see the front doors. I can guarantee it. Clear as day.
Didn't go back behind the school. She didn't drive around the whole school. She literally pulled in to the front parking lot and then pulled back out.
Because that's probably where he
wasn't
went in
looking anywhere.
That was normal for him. Huxley.
Interesting.
I was told by Detective Carter that the reason she wasn't looking anywhere is she was told to go back home. But you're already there. If you're truly looking for somebody that's missing, what's an extra 2 minutes to drive around the school?
What's the extra 2 minutes that you're gone that he shows back up to the house? Oh, wait. At this point, Chris isn't there. He's, 3 hours away in Memphis? You're not there, Seth. Not at this point. This is 6 o'clock in the morning or whenever Katie left to go look? Katie's the only adult that Sebastian knows that would be at that house. So yes, she did the right thing. Those 2 extra minutes, she would've went out looking, Sebastian coulda came home and been like, "Well, where the hell's mom? Mom's not here. Mom's car's gone. I'm gonna go look for mom." And he leaves again. I swear to God, people can't think.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't been in your position. I haven't been in hers, so it's difficult for me to say what I would or wouldn't do. But my priority, I believe, would be finding my son at any cost. So if someone said come home, I'm going to just take the long way around, so to speak, to see if he's in the vicinity. I mean, personally, in my opinion, that's what I would do. It's interesting. Snooky said, Seth, who verified that the glasses that were found weren't Sebastian's, and did you get to look at them yourself?
I did see them, because I'm the one that the person that found them. I made them bag them and then bring them to our where we were at, and I had flagged down a Sumner County sheriff and made him wait until they got there, and then he bagged and tagged them. And I don't remember that officer's name, but he was just
Seth already fucked up chain of custody with those glasses by telling that person to bag them. No, no. Either you go out there and look at them as they're laying on the ground and see if they are his, or you call an officer to come out. And they say Nano screwed up Nancy Guthrie's case. Seth, you have hindered this case so much.
a patrol officer over there that day. And Detective Carter is the one I called up. I said, "Hey, what's the results on the glasses?" And he was like, "What do you mean? What are the results?" And I'm like, "Well, are they his prescription or what?"
What
And
you just said you verified them that they weren't his, but now you're asking if it was his prescription. So which is it, Seth?
he told me that his language and what he said to me told me that they had never done it. So more than likely they just turned around and asked his mother.
Yeah, because she's seen him every day, unlike you.
So after they were found, you haven't seen them after that, after they were bagged and... All right. Rosebud said, Seth, will the discovery reveal more of the notes from the therapist and Sebastian's meetings?
It's not gonna get that far.
I have all of those.
You have all the notes from the therapist?
Yeah.
Anything that you want to say that stands out to you, or move on?
Nope.
All right. Blue Angel says, Seth, can you explain when and how Sebastian's mom and him connected with cousin or niece that afternoon? Can you clarify those details? Confused on that one.
I can't clarify anything for what they did because, again, the only thing that I know of is what they've said on YouTube channels.
Huh. The only thing you know is what they've said on YouTube channels. Gee, I wonder why, Seth. Because you've been running your freaking mouth this entire time about them. They're not gonna tell you everything. Katie does not have to tell you anything about that day. I wouldn't. For you, the way you've been acting? Mm-mm.
I mean, when I got there, she showed the picture on her phone in my face. Look, see, he was having a good day. And that was a picture that was supposedly taken the day before. And, that was pretty much the end of the conversation between me and her.
Understood. All right, I think I know where some of those. Okay, so the real me, hey, the real me, Seth, isn't it true that Sebastian went to bed whenever he wanted at Chris and Katie's, and at the same time, she says he did?
Sebastian didn't have a schedule at that
You didn't have a
house.
schedule at your house.
So with Sebastian having autism, I know that routine and schedule is very important for those on the spectrum. So
Yes.
was it difficult? Did you notice that it was more difficult transitioning him back to your house after he had been over by her? I don't know what the schedule was.
Not really. I mean, once he came here, he already knew what the routine was because the routine.
Yeah, he could stay up all night where you're working third shift at the corrections or the jail or whatever. He would stay up all night playing video games. And you've even said it yourself, Seth. When you would get home in the morning, he'd be standing there waiting with coffee like he was your fucking wife. He had no schedule at your house, so don't even sit here and say he did because he didn't. It came out of your own mouth.
Doesn't change. The only thing that changes if you're here or if you're not here.
Okay. And he had a schedule by your house?
No.
Yeah, for the most part.
No,
But a
we
lot of times, you know, he had a schedule when he had school.
Right.
But during the summer, schedule is, hey, you know, I want to see you during the day when I'm up. You're going to
Yeah.
stay up all night playing video games on your Switch or watching movies or whatnot. I'm going to be up with him anyways. But, you know,
You were
still got to
never
get up
home.
during the day and do something. Can't be up all night and sleep all day. I mean,
I hear that.
that's my work schedule. When you work nights, that's on my days off. I like to see the sun more than watch it go to sleep.
Yeah. It's going to be a rough
Night
transition
shift.
back into school, but
Night
yeah, I
shift.
get that.
You know.
What were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I said night shift. Working night shift. It's a
See?
different breed. Working night shift.
Yes, I worked nights for a while and I think I lived off of caffeine and nicotine. Sorry, but true.
Oh no, I understand. This is water. That's coffee. That's a cigarette.
Yeah. You still work nights?
Do what?
Do you still work nights?
Right now, I work. I work a missing child.
See?
Okay. So did you work third shift until you?
See? He's not working. So it sounds like he is trying to use Sebastian's name to make money off of YouTube.
Yes.
Left? Okay. Yeah, I mean it's difficult, but it's odd how quickly you can kind of get used to it and then almost run off of no sleep sometimes, honestly.
It's all about your circadian rhythm. But I was working night shifts way before Sebastian was born. So before he was born, I was a concrete technician. So I could be out on the port for 18 hours, you know,
hmm
construction.
All right. So Valley Gal 85 says may have been addressed, but were you made aware when CP was no longer living at the house?
I wasn't made aware of anything.
What?
Anything that was going on in that house, I was not made aware of.
Pugsley, you're funny. He's gonna start throwing a puggle fit. See?
Um,
Quit eating my. Quit.
I'm just trying to avoid anything that kind of sounds the same.
Oh, no.
My dog wants on my lap so bad. Puggles, they have what I call a puggle fit. I'm in a group for puggles. They all call it the puggle fit, right? When they don't get their way, whatever's near them, they will latch on and like grab. So like he's laying on the bed. So he'll grab my blanket because he's laying on top of my blanket and he'll just like right into the blanket and then look up at me. Quit it. They throw a fit like a little toddler. So that's what he's doing behind me if you hear him.
You can ask the questions because I mean, I couldn't tell you what they are, but I'll tell
Okay.
you. I mean, I'll answer them. I know there's probably a lot of repeat questions, and there's some questions that I can't answer, and there's some questions I won't answer. But
Right.
you can ask the question, and then I can let you, you know.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Ask the question. I do need to refill my coffee cup.
All right. Let's do this one and then take a fiver or whatever you need. Emma Lau? Emmy Lou 262 says, have you ever reached out or spoke to any of the ex-girlfriends or ex-spouses to get a little insight more on CP's behavior and what he could be capable of?
I have. But that was conversations that, you know, it was conversation between me and them. And out of respect to them, you know, did I find some insight, some answers? Yeah, but doesn't help me finding Sebastian. And it already tells us everything that, I mean, it's not like we don't know what kind of person he is now. You know, the fact is that he may not have been that person back then, but we know the kind of person he is now.
Haven't had any interaction with that side at all. Don't really care to be honest. So I won't know. I don't know.
God,
But I can assume.
I have not had any conversation with them, and even longer than I have Sumner County.
Do you want to go get a coffee?
No, I just want to go fill my coffee cup. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh,
we're gonna skip.
You're all good. I think everyone understands. I'd hope anyway. All right. So Mr. Rooster, hi, Mr. Rooster, said, are there any ties still in California? If so, do you know if it's northern or southern?
I do know that they still have ties in California, and
I'm trying to get bored already.
I would say most of it's south, because it'd be people that were, you know, in the military with him. You know.
Duh. I still know people who my late husband was in the military with that still lives in Clarksville. He was also in the Marines prior. I still know people who live in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Like, I personally have ties in almost every single state. Like, I actually know people who live in Hawaii too. One of my ex-friends' older brother, he's in the military. He moved to Hawaii. He lived in Clarksville. He moved to Clarksville when I lived there. And he literally just moved like a year or two ago. So he probably was down there when all the Sebastian stuff was going on. But I know people everywhere from the military. So yes, she is still gonna have ties to California. Like, it's just I'm trying to hold it together before I start going off.
I mean, it's like when she wanted a divorce.
I wonder why. I divorce your ass too.
Well, I'm not going to be in her life anymore. So I literally didn't ask things like that, because the only thing I cared about was my son.
Go back in there.
You know, her being with me was what, you know, that's a mutual thing. I mean, it's marriage. She didn't want to be married to me. Okay. Still going to be, you know, with Sebastian. He's my son. He needs his dad in his life. I thought he needed his mother too.
Seth, did you know you could have put into your parenting order that Katie is not allowed to move, as in whatever county you filed in, she has to live in one of the surrounding counties that touch that county. Did you know that? Because you can. So like this could have prevented her from moving to Tennessee.
I need him in my life. And it's evident that some people don't want their kids in their.
Oh, Katie, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's difficult.
I know it's a harsh thing to say, but
you don't know
actions
that.
speak louder than words.
That they do. They definitely do. Lisa C says, could that doctor be subpoenaed? Doesn't say what doctor, but could it be subpoenaed? Could he be subpoenaed? She.
What, my Sebastian's doctor is mental? whatever the attorney does, that's the attorney's wheelhouse, not mine. Whatever he wants to do, the fate of this case and everything, that's his wheelhouse. I'm not going to tell him how to do his
You can
job.
lay down on the bed. He'll jump up there with you. My son's in here. He just woke up.
Sally said, why didn't he have his phone that night with him at Texas Roadhouse? We could all see that Katie had hers.
He probably
I don't
did.
know why he didn't have his
On
phone.
the scene.
I find it weird. I mean, he would take his phone when he was with me. Whether he took it inside the restaurant or not, that, completely
Katie
up
probably
to
made
him.
him put it away so he could eat and not be distracted. I swear to God, nobody can think outside the bubble. Like,
So that being said, where was the last location of his phone? Was it back at their house?
Yeah. Plugged in on the bar in the kitchen.
maybe it died. Maybe Katie's like, hey, plug it in while we're gone. It'll charge. So it'll be ready for you when you get back home.
Rosebud, I've got somebody that'll go through this live and they will pull out all the questions just like they did for the last live. But this is the second live. We're still doing questions. That 3 hours and 20 minutes that just killed me. Not talking about my son, but just being on panel. Some people don't understand how draining it is.
Oh, it is very draining talking and doing all the, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I
mean,
only
it's
live with
draining
myself for 2
even
hours. I try.
obviously not even being in your situation, but it
Well,
takes
it
a lot
also
out of you, I
depends
can
on the
imagine.
subject. I mean, if you're having a conversation about, a happy subject, it's not as draining.
It's true.
But when just here to try to keep Sebastian's name out there, keep his flyer out there, just want my boy home. I want to find him and bring him home and protect him and keep him safe and find out what happened and then, make sure that justice happens.
Sorry. I'm trying to hold my dog so my
All right. So, see Legal Canada. Why did Chris have all the power? Who does he think he is? Why is SCSO so keen not to solve this? You told me to read them. I gotta read them.
Well, no, I was listening to you, but I was looking at chat too.
Oh, okay. Well, if you need to address something, go for it.
Say that again.
Yeah. So, See Legal Canada says, why does Chris have all the power? Who does he think he is? Why is SCSO so keen not to solve this?
I have no idea. Maybe he thinks he's He-Man. I have the power.
Oh my God. It's called having connections. I have my own connections. And I only pull those out for certain people. Like, it's called making friends. I went to a vocational school, so I know a lot of people in my area. My stepkids are finding that out too. So has my son. My son was in a town about an hour and a half away from here, grocery shopping with his grandma. And some random guy came up to him and says, hey, aren't you Mick's son? Used my real name. He goes, yeah. He's like, oh, I knew your dad. I worked at McDonald's with your dad. He's like, I know your mom and dad. Yeah, like an hour and a half away. And it actually kind of freaked my son. And he's like, you really do know people everywhere. I'm like, I'm telling you, I do, dude. I do. I know lots of people. I'm a very lovable person. So it's just knowing people and having connections to certain things. That's what it is.
If I don't wear pants, then I'm not busy pants. Oh, did I say that on live? I mean, I did see the picture of him at the casino, and I mean,
oh my God,
he looks like he's been handed a life sentence.
Oh my God, seriously, people are taking pictures of them at the casino? first at church, out and then out and eating at the Harley Davidson shop where they were clearly hanging flyers. And then don't do that shit. Who fucking cares? This goes back to the world cannot stop. Yes, you wish it could stop, but it can't.
I just don't feel sorry for him.
How long ago was that?
I guess that was last Friday.
Really?
Yeah, while I was doing my live,
See, I
somebody
heard something about a casino coming down.
observed
I think
them at casino.
Understood.
They
Interesting.
took a picture of him.
Looking a little worse for the wear, in your opinion.
Up in Oak Grove. I think that's the closest one because that's what pops up when I type
Sorry.
in Tennessee. Oak Grove, Kentucky.
For what?
I mean, I don't know the guy, but yeah.
7.
Anyway, all right. So Kiki 2025 True Crime said, was there any higher ups like that's rumored at the KP home the day Sebastian went missing, meaning higher up than sheriff, allegedly? So was there anyone higher than
Don't
the
believe
sheriff?
the sheriff was there, and I don't know everybody in Sumner County. I don't know who. I met one of their commissioners. He's been to every one of the vigils, and he's been doing his best to keep Sebastian's name out in the community
The
as well.
casino's right across.
But as for the rest of them, I don't know who they are.
That's hilarious.
And your position and title doesn't tell me your character.
Okay, so it's past the main gate.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I mean, everything about this is unfortunate. I know I keep saying unfortunate. I don't know. I have a lot more words in my vocabulary, but out of respect, I will keep them to myself. All right. So Tess, oh wait, you said it already that you don't know if she was enrolled in any classes, right?
Yeah, I don't.
All right. Sea Legal Canada again says, why is CP allowed to write the custody order? I am lost.
He didn't. There's just more stuff coming out of his butt cheeks. I mean, his face. I don't know what the difference is.
Well, I mean, you got cheeks on your face, so technically it would be between.
Where is Mr. Rooster? I don't know where Mr. Rooster is.
I haven't seen him actually for a couple of days. Maybe he's working. I don't know. But isn't he more of a night owl anyway?
I know. I mean, I did this early. The sun's still up. All the vampires had to come out.
I know, right? The sun's still out here too.
That's why I have blackout curtains. I'm not too worried about it. It doesn't burn.
Right here. Where's this bird?
Yeah, I needed those when I was third shift back in the day. Otherwise, I couldn't sleep. It was too bright.
Well, it's like working 7 to 7. So it's like leave my house at 5:30. The sun's up. By the time I get to work, the sun's gone. And then get up. I'm leaving work at 7 if my relief is on time. So I'm getting home by 8:39. The sun has come up. So I watch the sun go to bed as I go to work, and then I watch it wake up as I'm going home to go to bed.
I could be very picky about what he just said, but I'm not going to.
Sorry. Titch79 says, my main question is if Seth thinks it's possible that Sebastian has been hidden in a military facility. I have read a few cases where missing kids were found in military camps.
I don't know because I don't know because we don't know what kind of military, camps or experiments or what it is that's going on.
Okay, I'm not gonna dive into this camps experiments bullshit, but I can tell you right now. Hold on. Well, it's his military base. To Chris and Katie would be Fort Campbell, I believe. Now, going on, I have been on Fort Campbell several times, and if you are military and or have a family member that's military, I highly suggest you go on base and see what we call the airplane graveyard. freaking cool. It's not an actual. Some of them are up in the air. Some of them are sitting on their tires. They're not like run down or anything. But we just call it the airplane graveyard. Freaking cool. There's a new museum, the Pratt Museum. Highly suggest you go see that. That's actually pretty cool too. But for Chris and Katie, or let's just say Katie, to get onto Fort Campbell, she should have an inactive ready reserve card, I believe. Depends on an IRR card, because my late husband had one when he got out of the Marines. I think he was able to get called back or something. I don't know. But anyway, she should have some type of identification military. I have my military card. I need to take my son to get his, but I haven't took him up there yet to go do it. We really don't need it actually. But she should have some type of military card. All she's got to do is when she pulls into any gate, all the gates have guards, which it's just freaking random soldiers scheduled to stand at the gate and check IDs. That's all they do. It's check IDs. A little bit like ID. And then you should already have it out and ready to go. Okay. You hand them your ID, they look at it and they're like, okay, have a good day. And then you go through. That's it. Unless I've always wanted to see Fort Campbell has these big round. I mean, these things are, well, I want to say the size of a steering wheel, but all steering wheels are different sizes. But I mean, these brown metal things on the ground. It's a barrier. They have been up one time the entire like 6 years I lived there. Right? One time. I seen them up, but I never seen them come up. And I've always wanted to see them come up. I never got to see it. But they have that. So that is more of a if you're acting suspicious kind of thing, or some people are trying to get on base with boom booms, they're gonna pop those up so you can't get in, kind of thing. Now, Katie, yes, Katie can get onto Fort Campbell, and so can Chris. 100% they can get on there. Sebastian being underage, they just got to be like, oh, okay. So when he went missing in time, he was 15. Like, oh, he's 15. And they'd be like, okay. They'd see a young, goofy looking kid. All kids at that age are goofy looking because they're going through puberty and all that stuff. They'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, he's got acne. Yep, he's a young kid, and they would just let him through. They would. I've never had. I've always had to roll my back window down because I had my son in the back seat, and I would, after a while, after like the second time they asked me to do that, I would just already have it down, just so they can see him and see inside my vehicle because that's just how I am. But yeah, 100% Chris and Katie can go on to Fort Campbell and they can go shopping at the commissary or PX, if any military people listening. They can do all that stuff. They can go and rent whatever, like boats and stuff like that, or whatever Fort Campbell has. Four-wheelers, jet skis, all that stuff. They can go rent all that. They still have access to base. 100% everything. They have access to the hospital there. They have access to everything on that base because they're part of service. So yes, Sebastian could be on Fort Campbell. He could well be. There's been some things when I lived down there that people were getting busted for on Fort Campbell, and it would blow your freaking mind. I'm like, yo, I'm never going on the base again without you, hubby. Like, Or I would take my neighbor's husband with me because he was in the military too. I would never go on the base by myself. So, but yeah, there's, I mean, I hate to say it, but there's been some things it's not been publicly known because you actually got to look for it. But like, people traffic women and children on bases. They do. They do all the time. Like, they sell rugs from base too. So
Too many people still think you can beat autism out of a child, and you can drill it out of a child by setting up a routine that works for them and then slowly introducing them to new stuff, which is what you should probably do with all children. Routine is good. Routine is, everything down to digestion and sleep and everything else. Not read parenting books. And even if you do read them, it does not prepare you for being a parent.
No,
No.
it doesn't. No.
You're like, oh, okay. I'm doomed. Oh,
It is one of the
Shit. My son's about to turn 18 and I'm still learning. He's this coming school year is his last year of high school. Like, I have winged it this entire time. I have raised him pretty much by myself his entire life. My late husband was always gone for the military, whether it be a week training, a month training, deployments. My son was born on my husband's last deployment in the Marines. So my son wasn't even there, or my husband wasn't even there for the birth. He did call me. They sent this was back in the day before had computers all the time, and the guys are allowed to have their fucking cell phones over there. They sent a Red Cross message over to let him know that his son was born. I'm gonna cry. Damn it.
those jobs that you learn as you go. Literally, you could read all the
yeah,
books
because
you
every
want.
child is different. So it doesn't matter if it's your first child or your fourth child. I mean, unless they're twins. And even then, twins can be different. You know, one's like, yeah, I'm going to stay up. You can go to sleep. We'll just switch. You do night shift. I do day shift. We'll make sure they never sleep again. You know?
Yeah. I remember my son was like 9 months old and I was like crying and I was like, I'm never going to sleep again. Never going to sleep again.
Well, Sebastian, like, the reason we knew about this chromosomal deletion is that it was just like, okay, kid's wearing me out. Like, he would continue to go until until the batteries died. And then he would sleep, wake up, batteries recharged, go again. And
that's an every kid
that's
thing.
just the way he was. And first it was crawling, then it was running because he really never walked anywhere.
Yeah,
And
steps he didn't walk, he ran.
you know, I had him in the pool. Like, I literally, I think he was like a year old and I had him in the pool. We're gonna build those leg muscles up and so that we can start running, walking, being, and he loves to run. We just take him to track and field and he'll have a blast.
I've never heard of this person ever before in my life, but Army Vet 420 says, is DCS undermining joint custody? Advocates argue that if two parents share joint custody, a state agency keeping secret files or closing an investigation into serious risk criteria.
I don't know if I should answer that question. I mean, if you're asking my opinion is he was up for foster care, for non-custodial or foster care, and they didn't let me know.
Okay, that's bullshit.
So to me, it's like, were they going to put him in foster care and never let me know? I'd like to know, what happened. I'd like to know why all of a sudden they closed these cases.
So they put him in a position where he was close to being placed in foster care. I mean, I know that they had placed him had categorized him as like serious or imminent danger or risk.
Title IV, which is in the filing, if you look at that, it's literally for non-custodial or foster care. It's to remove the child from the custodial parent.
So, okay, custodial parent means primary parent. That would have been Katie. Non-custodial would be Seth because he's a fucking weekend dad. Every other weekend dad.
And then if you don't find non-custodial care for the child will be put in foster. But I I should be the first person that they should have contacted. I don't live in that house, and it's not like they
You
didn't have my
contact
information. Because Sebastian gave him my information. Sebastian told him that the only place he feels safe at is at my house, and yet they did not bother to do their job, call me, tell me what's going on. Yeah, I'll be there. Have the sheriffs there. I'll be there to pick up my son. So not only was that done, but at the same point in time, Sumner County was involved with that. So they chose to also keep me out.
Was there ever any legitimate reason, in your opinion, that they gave you as to why you were never notified about them? Or was
They
it
never
just the
answered that question.
jurisdiction?
They've
Never
never
answered.
answered that question.
Interesting. I wonder why.
Well, something tells me they're going to have to pretty soon.
That didn't true.
All right.
Mind.
Sorry,
We
go
can
ahead.
pray. We can.
Seth's lawsuit has to make it through. It could get dismissed, boom, in an instant, and not even make it through. But he needs to realize that if this does make it through, the fucking Pandora's box that will be opened and unleashed on these streets, the YouTube streets, it's gonna get messy, and it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get really, really bad.
Pray. I mean, just pray. Pray that I get my day in court.
All right. All that is unseen said, do newer cars know if people are sitting in the passenger seat? Was KP car ever searched or data collected, telematics or whatever it's called?
It was searched.
I know what I was told by the detective. And the detective said they took dogs into the vehicles. They didn't take dogs into my vehicle.
Because you were at work.
And nothing came from that.
See?
They didn't do any forensics except for the 3D scan of their house.
I'm not really too entirely sure, but I know.
Yeah, and you said that was because of make sure there wasn't any.
I'm assuming if they are searching her car, they are doing forensics because I believe the forensic would fall under that category. They put the dogs in there. Well, I'm assuming they. I don't know if they would put the dogs first and then do the search, or do the search then the dogs. I would assume they would do the search then the dogs because the dogs are going to track in outside contaminants and hair or blood or something could get contaminated if it was in there. But they probably did do forensics. They probably pulled hairs and tested them and stuff. Seth's just an idiot.
Construction or false walls or anything like that.
Correct.
And I'm assuming they didn't find anything that you're aware of.
I mean, my personal opinion is if they did it as well as they did the initial, procedures for, a missing child, I wouldn't put a dime on it in a bet.
Candy don't even have that car anymore.
So is that something that Sumner County brought in? Like they actually have like a team that does that, or was that a third party
I don't
contracted? Know. You don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
Sammy G has questions, is the name. Can he say anything about the very young pictures KP put out? Can't remember if he did. Okay, if not, obviously.
I don't know what pictures Katie put out. Some of those pictures that I've seen floating around the internet, I don't even have.
Well, you wouldn't because they're her pictures. She took
As
them.
for some of the baby pictures, those I put those in.
And is that all the pictures you have of your son is just baby pictures?
Yeah,
Katie
I
has
was
something to be
obviously when I
noticed.
made my thumbnail, I was looking through some pictures and made me smile just seeing how happy he looked.
He
So
was a very happy. He was a very happy baby. I mean, he would just sit there and laugh as a baby. As soon as you could set up, and he would just sit there and laugh. I mean, I remember at one point in time, gave him an empty 2 liter,
I'll be right back.
and he just sat there and bounced it off the ground, making noise, and just laughed the whole time. I mean, probably for like 45, 50 minutes, he just sat there and was doing it and just laughing. And me and Katie were right next to him, just laughing with him.
kids will entertain themselves with the most random things. You spent all this money on toys, and I remember for a while my son was just watch other kids open these toys on YouTube. And I'm like, you have that toy, but he just want to watch other kids play with it. It's the strangest
Right?
thing.
I mean, kids are kids. They'll entertain themselves, or they'll go find something that will.
Yeah, they sure will. All right. So, SI officer again says, was there any repairs happening at the house that you noticed? Did you see the attic office room above the garage? Who was all there that morning in the home? You want me to break it apart? There were a lot of questions there.
There was a lot of questions there. Yes, there was.
Any repairs happening that you noticed?
Not that I know of.
Did you see the attic office room?
I was up there in the attic. Well, not in the attic, but the room above the garage, which is the access for the attic. And I watched 2 officers go in there and look around twice. And there was a lot of people there, and I don't feel like going over who all was there.
And then the other one was, did you see the room above the garage? But you said, right, that's where you were officially questioned in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. And nothing of note that really stuck out to you in that home?
Not there. I mean, I'd never been in the room before. I mean, I try not to go in their house. You ever walk into somebody's house, like your ex's house, and it's just like, I'd rather be in my truck with my son leaving because I don't even want to be in here.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's just a weird feeling. Like I feel like I don't belong here. So yeah, it's gotta be uncomfortable.
No worries, SI officer. I mean, all these questions have probably been asked to me 10 or 15 times before.
Our friend, Army Vet, asked without Army Vet. Have you seen him? I haven't seen him in the chat.
Oh, I saw him in his live
lingering.
earlier, and I asked for the mods to block him in here.
All right, that's it. Over in my channel, mods, you see AV, get him out of here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Time him out for like 10 seconds. Doing it. It's so short, he'll never realize it, Harass him.
Oh, AV. Just one comment and then a 30-second timeout and then one comment. No, okay. Sorry. But anyway, AV.
5 minutes. After one comment, 5 minutes. Okay.
Wait. Okay. So he asks without telling the other parent effectively nullifies that parent's legal ability to protect their child. True? In your opinion?
Say that again.
I think he's basically saying that if KP didn't tell you or CP didn't tell you what was going on, it is nullifying your ability to protect your child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you get. I'm just kidding.
I think that would fall under like parental alienation.
Wait, what? No.
Very true. So I'm not sure how it was in your paperwork. I know in my paperwork with the custody and everything, and you had joint legal custody, correct?
Joint legal and physical.
So with you having joint, you would have, I mean, here, I would say, you have to agree or they have to let you know if they're moving a certain distance away.
They're supposed
So
to let me know if they move, if they change addresses. I'm supposed to be notified about
That's supposed to
doctor's
be every
appointments. I'm supposed to
custody
be
order.
notified about everything.
That's
so
a
when
new-
they moved
not a
to
new thing.
California, did they make you aware? I mean, what is the notice period on that? I mean, how did that all go down?
When she left California,
When she, yes, sorry.
I mean, she asked me, and I was like, "Yes, please get my son out of California." I mean, it was COVID. I mean, I did private security. I was listening to. I mean, the day that I left, somebody had attacked somebody with a compound bow and stuck him with an arrow. I mean, stuff was getting really, really bad.
That's kind of everywhere. Things get bad everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all want to forget that time in our lives. Like it
I
didn't
mean,
exist.
I never got it, and other people did, so I
I had
got
it twice.
overtime hours. I mean, one person's misfortune, another person's bigger paycheck. But I mean, when I even got here, it was the same thing because we were still dealing with COVID, and people would get sick. So I was pulling 16-hour shifts for Allied. It didn't bother me. It's the hour and 15-minute travel time to Nashville, there and back. So 16, then travel time. You don't get a lot of sleep. But paychecks were nice.
I bet. Tessa
I was able
Tassa.
to
Sorry,
buy
go
a bunch of stuff for Sebastian. When it came down to it, I was working my butt off. So when I was getting a paycheck and it's like, well, all my bills are paid from one paycheck for a week. And the rest of it's like, Sebastian wants this card for his deck. He wants that. He wants this. Okay. Bought him a Switch because his mom was complaining that she didn't want him to be bringing his Switch up here. Didn't want him to take the Switch on road trips when we went to go see my mom and dad. And I was like, okay, well, fine. Let me go buy him his own for my house.
Did he stay home a lot while KP and CP worked from Tessa Tassa?
Mm-hmm. He got off school at 3:00, and there was times that she didn't come home until after 7 or 8. And Chris wasn't there because Chris was gone working.
So what's wrong with that? He was 15. He doesn't need to be babied. I'm so sick and tired of people saying treating Sebastian like he was a baby. Yes, he had autism, but he was I believe he is high functioning. I believe that's which one he had was a high functioning one. He was able to take care of himself. He was able to pop something in the microwave to eat. Seth said it himself. When he would get off of work, Sebastian would be standing there waiting with a cup of coffee. It's okay to leave a 15-year-old home if they can be trusted and if they are somewhat independent and can take care of themselves and knows right from wrong. That is okay. That is okay to do. And Seth's getting mad because Sebastian would get out of school, go home, or go back to Chris and Katie's house. Chris isn't there. He's on the road for work. Katie wouldn't get home to 6, 7 o'clock at night. It's because she has a job. She obviously trusted Sebastian to be home by himself with his puppies. And then you got Seth over here leaving him alone for like 12 hours. It's no big deal for him. But when Katie does it for a few extra hours a day, probably not often either. Probably every once in a while. All hell breaks loose. Oh my god.
So yeah, he stayed at the house a lot by himself.
Then obviously he was able to be trusted.
Ash Mangy said, "Did you notice a large dent in the garage door?"
Yeah, that was there way before Sebastian went missing.
Somebody probably back
That
did
was because a particular person doesn't know how to drive.
See? Sorry. I did not know how to drive. I think it was last year. My son was leaving for school. He drives to school. He's got like a 45-minute drive to his school. I always watch to make sure on the cameras that he leaves the driveway safely. And then I stalk him on 360 till he gets there. Whatever. Anyways, he's backing out. It's Monday morning because the trash is out. The trash can's out. He hits the fucking trash can with the front of his car as he's backing out. Yeah, he was mid-turn to straighten his car on the road and poof, hit the trash can. Didn't knock it over, thank God. But I screen recorded and sent that to the grandparents and they all laughed.
Allison Malsack said, "Has anyone else searched Paris Landing? Your ex had to drive it to Highway 79 to get Jackson and then to Memphis, ?
Paris Landing, is that what they said? I've been through Paris.
Paris Landing.
Been through Memphis. I've been to Dover. I mean, I've been everywhere from here to the border.
Paris is a long drive through Tennessee. Holy shit, is that a long drive? Doesn't look like it.
All right, Tessa Tassa again. Did the neighbor behind KP ever supply any footage?
Say that again.
Did the neighbor behind KP ever supply any footage?
I have no idea. Right, peace, love, Jeeps. La-di-da-di-da-di-da.
I'm just gonna leave this right here.
For those in the back.
Hold on. I want to see what it says. Damn it.
Case somebody
trying to park at the TRH. Just saying.
missed it.
Okay. Who cares?
Justice for NOG said, "Did LE investigate bus drivers and school support services staff?"
Supposedly, SESO questioned everybody in the school, from the principal down to classmates.
Oh, those poor kids.
Miss Kelsey, was he allowed to go to others' houses?
Not that I know of. When he was with me, he would go to he would every once in a while he would go over there. Whenever
Oh, the woman from California.
Whenever his nieces and nephews would show up, he'd go over there to go play. He loved their dog, so he would go over there and just sit on the ground and just love the dog. You know, it's like, Sebastian, I wouldn't sit on the ground. You know that the dog poops over here, right? Oh, that's nasty. Well, you're the one sitting in it. Yeah, I mean, this right here, I want to correct some information's Pebbles. This phone number with option 6 is actually the number to contact the FBI if you have corruption within your city or county.
Sorry. Crime Time Grime says, what are the next steps to finding Sebastian,
It's
in your
it's
opinion?
it's fine, Pebbles. Don't worry about it. I just figured I'd let you know that number still needs to be passed out because, you know, if we don't report corruption in our communities, then we're not servicing our community, and it's everybody that lives in the community to service their community.
It's true. It's true. We all got to watch out for our own community, our own neighbors.
Sorry, go
Especially the
ahead.
elderly
No, you're
and
okay.
disabled ones.
Crime Time Grime said, what are the next steps to find Sebastian?
We still keep handing out flyers. We still keep his picture out there.
Like he just says, still keep handing out flyers, keeping his picture out there. And yes, like I said earlier, it's up to us now. The normal people, the people who are not close to anyone in this situation or the cops, like it's up to us if we see something to say something. 'Cause it's been 2.5 years and he hasn't been found. Like, I hate to say it, but I don't think he's alive anymore. I don't. I just feel like if he if you ever have lived in Tennessee and have gone off the beaten path into the backwoods, if you wanna call it that, it's freaking it's unforgiving. We w we were going to, um my son had a friend, I think this was, like, 2nd grade or 1st grade or something. A girl in his class was having a birthday party at the dam there in Chatham County, and we were trying to go there, and we just followed the GPS because we had never been to this dam, and we were on the other side. Like, I seen something we got to a spot, and I seen something across the way, so I called her mom, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, ooh, "I see something, but I'm not sure what it is," and she's like, "Is that you over there? Wave your arms." I started waving my arms, she's like, "You're on the wrong side, dumbass." I was like, "Oh." But, like, as we were going, before we got to the spot, there was a fork in the road. Go right or go left. We had to go left, that's the way the GPS said it. But in, like, the middle, like, where the fork parts come out of the shaft or whatever you wanna call it if you're looking at it like a fork, um, there was a vending machine. It had power. I wanted to get a can of pop out of it just to see what I got, but my husband wouldn't let me. He's like, "You ain't doing that." And I'm like, "Come on, I won't drink it." But seeing that, and then there was a 4-year-old little boy when I think it was back in was it 2014? I can't remember when we had that really, really bad cold snap, that polar vortex. Because I know up here it got to -40, down there it got to -14. I knew when it hit because I just felt the cold go right across the floor. Oh, it was so bad. But a little 4-year-old boy, he went missing. It was like 2 hours west of us. I think he was west of us. I wanted to go so bad and search for this little boy because all he had with him was his blankie and then the little zip up feety pajama things that little kids will wear. That's all he had on. And they got to the point when it got too cold, they shut the searches down. And then they started shutting down early. Like, before like, when it started getting dark, they called everybody back because they didn't want people out there at night because of how unforgiving the terrain is. And that's one thing that I'm worried about is that Sebastian, he fell into something. one of my theories of what happened to him. I don't know how he got out of the house. I don't know anything about that, but I am worried that he fell into a hole. There's holes out there, like in the hills and the mountains and stuff. There's holes. Like it's the most unforgiving terrain I have ever seen in the United States. It's ridiculous.
You know, I don't know what I'm going to get from these filings. So until then, it's, and just got to keep sharing his picture, got to keep sharing his flyer, got to keep sharing his name. I have to keep it out there. Like Smokey said, only you can prevent forest fires. Well, anybody seeing his flyer could be the next person to see Sebastian.
That's what I'm talking about. It's up to
And that
us
could be the
to keep
tip,
our
the
eyes
phone
open.
call. I've been posting in here the missing kids. If you are not wanting to speak with law enforcement, then you can always call. That's the link to the poster.
That
The
reminds me
missing kids.
So I still have people who live down in Tennessee, and I sent them the flyer. I'm like, "Hey, when you're out and about, keep an eye open. Tell me if you see this." They're like, "Oh yeah, we got to go, up to Walmart. We're gonna go to the mall today, and I'll keep an eye out." She texts me back. She's like, "I didn't see one." I go, "Are you serious?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "He wasn't even up on the missing because Walmart. I don't know about your Walmart, but our Walmart here and down there, they do the wall in the service desk area, and they have, like, missing pictures of kids and, like, all their information. She's like, "He wasn't even up there either." She didn't even know about it, and she lives in Clarksville. She said there's nothing. From time to time, I'll text her and ask her about it, but she still hasn't seen one flyer, yard sign, or anything up there of Sebastian missing. I did, though. I checked my Walmart here, and they did have Sebastian's up. So but I'm like 10 hours away from Clarksville, and there's one up here.
You can always reach out to them and submit a tip. I am so glad, Gina. At least they left Sebastian sign up. Thank you, Rusty Pipes. Don't fear a soul. Yes, I did. Same day that they were all found, Sebastian wasn't in there. I was hoping. They found 30 kids in Memphis, and I was on the phone immediately because, and then I found out later on that day that Sebastian wasn't in there. So.
No, it's crazy. 30.
Someone asked if I was going to sneeze. No, I'm not going to
That's
sneeze.
fucking crazy.
Tessa Tassa said, did Ellie investigate digital logs from the keypad lock?
I have no idea. I know that there's a video around here where somebody said that they had a conversation with them and stated that they were going to want access to the keypad and everything else. And that was the last time they ever talked to the Proudfoots. Just so people know, yes, when there's missing children found, it's the first thing I do. I contact my list, my FBI liaison, and it's like, hey, was Sebastian in there? I do a lot of phone calls too when they find bodies and stuff like that. I can't expect Sumner County to do it because they don't. So I do it. I call up and I talk to the detective over the case, and and let them be aware that Sebastian, he would be 17. Make sure that they know what the flyer is, and normally they'll tell me information that lets me know that it's not a possibility. There's been a few, and I'm not allowed to discuss what they say because obviously they shouldn't be telling me some of the stuff they do if it's not Sebastian, but they do help because I'm just looking for my son, and they know that.
I'm gonna go get a tissue. I'll be right back.
So we're just gonna sit here in silence, Seth?
All right, I get it together. Thanks. Obviously I've told you this before, but anyone that doesn't know, I have a teenage son as well, and he looks a lot like Sebastian, so it's a little bit different.
I have a teenage son that's 17.
All right, getting back to the questions. Thank you for bearing with me.
Months older than
Appreciate it.
Sebastian.
Girl Mom 2 says, I have a question for Detective Carter. I know Seth won't be able to answer, but hopefully he will see this. Why can't you take phone calls on tips, or is that because you aren't on the case anymore?
That's because he's only on the case part-time. It's not a priority. I mean, they've showed me that there's no, after the initial 8 days, I haven't seen any urgency. I've seen no awareness to the people about my son from that department.
Sebastian isn't the only one missing. What a crazy thought.
Yeah, I know, Gina.
Sorry, I wanted to read what you were talking about.
No, there was a 15-year-old female. She was supposedly hit by a car and killed in Sumner County, and nobody's talking about it.
I think I heard someone talking about that earlier, to be honest.
Damn.
I'm not sure if it was the same one or not.
I'm looking for it so I can put it back up right here. Kinsley Carter.
I'll take note. I'll have to look into it, but seems to be quite a theme with them.
Oh yeah, if you're not voting age, they don't care about you. And if you are voting age, they only care about you long enough to show up and write your check mark, and then
The amount of
shouldn't-
hatred that Seth has for this county, it just blows my mind. Like, he did this to himself. You start bad-mouthing the sheriff's department, they're not going to tell you anything. If you need help, yes, they will come because that's their job. They won't like it, but they'll do it. But they have no legal obligation to even talk to you, to tell you anything. They stopped talking. My theory is they stopped talking to Seth because they tell him something like, "Hey, we're watching, we're watching this place. People said they keep seeing different kids there." It gives trafficking vibes pretty much. They're not gonna tell Seth that because Seth goes online and blabs about everything. And then if they tell him that, he's gonna come out here, say, "Yeah, they're watching this house over on da 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 street. That's trafficking kids." that can get back to these kidnappers or whatever, and then they can move the kids. That's the only reason why they don't tell Seth anything, and he needs to fucking understand that. I'm irritated.
And if you're going to be in an elected position, why are you treating your constituents like that? I mean, you can't make everybody happy, but when you got a lot of people who like information, you should be doing something. My son deserves that. My son deserves the best that sheriff could possibly put out. And instead, he's judging, cheerleader practice or whatever, which I would, if I had a daughter and she was to be there, I would tell her, you're not going. I'd put my foot down. I don't want you anywhere near that man. That man does not care if you live, die, or what happens to you, in my opinion, just by what he has shown for my son in this comments and things that he has posted. And, he doesn't care. He does not care about anybody who is essayed, sexually assaulted. I'll say it,
So, yeah, I mean, like I said it when I read the filing, it was that I think was one of the most shocking things, if not just the fact that they left you out of everything that happened after that. So I can't imagine, but I also can't imagine adults that wouldn't speak out to help helpless children that have been through something like that, and at least allow them resources.
How about this? How about not even looking at children, looking at adults that have been essayed, both male and female, and you have that comment, like, that's just disgusting. It's subhuman behavior. Like, I got the fatigue whenever I hear his name. To me, he's an insult to the badge.
Yeah, unimaginable. Let's see, Hush Pup says, did they ever have parties for Sebastian's birthday that you attended?
Say that again.
Did they ever have parties for Sebastian's birthday that you attended?
Not here in Tennessee. Did have a birthday party in California. It was like a jump around place. And
Trampoline park.
I showed up.
Mm-hmm.
When Sebastian shows up, he's going to get the biggest party.
Yeah, you said you have a bunch of presents in his room.
He does. He's got some birthday presents and Christmas presents all over his bed.
Show us.
All right. Penny Nash Lombardi says, have they called KMP back in for questioning because of more evidence from different stuff and Texas Roadhouse?
Did you say, did they?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they did.
Yeah, they've kind of kept you out of that and any sort of update, right?
Why?
Yeah.
Seth, you ruined all the
Blue Angel 824 says, Do you think we need to start searching like no search has been done?
Where do you search? Been over 2.5 years. I get tips, I go search them. That's why passing out the flyer and call the FBI. If you have a tip, call National Missing, you can send me an email. But if you see Sebastian or somebody that looks like Sebastian, call his name. And if he turns around
No, don't do
and
that.
says yes, and he looks like my son, obviously call 911.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't call him by his name. I'd be like, "Oh my god, that kid looks like Sebastian Rogers." And then I'd be like, "Oh, hey, Drake. Drake." And then if they didn't turn around, I'd walk up to him and be like, "Hey, Drake." And then they turn around and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I thought you were Drake. I thought you were my nephew. This, that, and the other. So sorry about that." And then just be like, "You guys have a good day." And then walk away. Walk away and call 911. Get visual confirmation that it is him. Because if he is out with one of the kidnappers, let's just say he's out with a kidnapper, and you're like, "Sebastian Rogers," they're gonna fucking be like, "Oh shit." Snatch him up and run. And then they're gonna leave the area. I think that's the stupidest thing anybody can do. That's just my opinion. You do what you want, but just know that if you call his name and he's with a kidnapper, good chances are they're gonna leave that area. And he's not gonna be found.
Don't call the FBI. Don't call Sumner County. Don't call TBI. If you see my son and he answers to his name and turns around, call 911.
Any new tips since we talked last? Since we did this last?
Say that again.
I said, is this just quiet? Should I turn it up? Is it quiet? Have you heard or any more tips in the past couple of weeks since we talked last?
Yeah, I mean, we get tips in. I had a tip. Somebody, pretty much emailed somebody else and like 3 minutes of research and it was a black gentleman. Definitely not Sebastian.
I mean, maybe he got
That's just one that was, emailed to me. But I haven't checked this week.
You haven't checked
I
your
also
email
know
at all.
that we're working on other tips.
He hasn't checked his email at all this week. What if that tip is in there that it is 100% Sebastian? Why it shouldn't surprise me anymore. This bullshit that he's pulling should not surprise me, but it still does.
Tips that have come in. We do what we can. We get everything together and send it to the FBI. But again, the only people that will talk with like National Missing and Exploited Children, they'll only talk to me. They won't talk to my PI. They'll talk to the FBI. And it's like, I'd gotten tips and had to turn around and let the FBI agent know. Because they have a new case manager over Sebastian's case at National Missing and Exploited Children Center. So
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like trying, first of all, to keep it together, obviously. But another part of me just is internally so, for lack of a better word, pissed off for you. The fact that you have gotten no answers and no communication.
Because he did it to
Again,
himself.
they're supposed to serve and protect. There is no serving, there's no protecting, and there's no communication. They're not doing their jobs. I don't understand. I can't imagine how you feel because it's not my son, and yeah, okay. Pause.
I understand. I mean, I understand that people are upset. I mean, you can't begin to understand the frustration that I deal with.
Well, maybe if you wouldn't ran your freaking mouth, they would be telling you stuff. And so would
There's a
Kristen.
reason why there's rules, procedures, and policies, and there's a reason why you're supposed to follow them. Sorry, I'm tapping on the desk because I mean, it just.
Unreal. All right. So Penny, wait. Nope, I read that one. Tessa Tossa says, was it normal for them to have a full weekend of activities and eating out?
I guess I don't normally bother them on their weekend, you know. To me, it was keeping the distance between me and her. The only thing that connects her to me is Sebastian, and vice versa. I mean, Sebastian didn't tell me much about what was going on in the house, and I didn't care enough to ask because obviously I thought everything was going okay, fine. School's not contacting me, CPS isn't contacting me, and Sebastian isn't telling me anything that's going on in the house. And,
God, how much
when
more?
I bring it to my
Oh my
house,
God.
obviously, it's different.
I don't know how much more of this I can take. He's so boring.
He was allowed to live here.
Yeah. All right. So Titch79 says, has anyone reached out to you that previously ignored you after the filings became public, or do you feel that there is any real involvement?
Don't know. Since the filings, I mean, we haven't heard anything from anybody.
Oh God, it's just the same shit over and over. I'm done streaming him. I'm so over him. It's the same shit over and over. If he wouldn't have opened his mouth and ran his mouth about Chris and Katie, they'd be talking to him, telling him things. If he wouldn't have ran his mouth about the sheriff's department, they probably would be more open to tell him things. Like, he is so dead set on people being against him for everything. It's because he made it that way. And I don't know. I'm freaking over it. I thought I'd be able to sit through all of that. We made it an hour and 20 minutes. And now I'm really tired. I I just don't get how people can see what they've done wrong. They always say the first 48 hours is the most critical hours. And they searched well beyond the 48 hours. I think they were searching for like a week or 2 or 3 after that. They searched for a while after that. Because like I've said, that terrain is very unforgiving. But I mean, they can't be on his case 24/7. They There are other missing kids, missing adults, missing disabled people. They just can't stop and forget about those other people. And I know I would probably be singing a different tune if it was my son, and I pray to God that I'm never put in that position. But and then with Katie going back to the house when she was told to go back to the house. What if Sebastian comes home? Or what if she's out? She's like, "Nah, screw that. I'm gonna go look." And a sheriff shows up, and there's nobody there to give them a statement right then and there. Like, look, I woke up, this, that, and the other. There. What if Sebastian came home? That's why they always tell you stay home. For one, they don't want you finding your child if your child is deleted. Two, they want you to be there in case the child comes home. Okay, I probably should get off here because I'm just getting so frustrated and I'm gonna end up going into a rant. So, but all right, I will see you guys later. Have a good what's today? Saturday? I think today's Saturday. Yes, today is Saturday. I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. We are in for some storms tonight. Yay. We were gonna go to the fair, but it's storming. It's gonna storm really bad tonight. So I'm like, no,